Hey all, it's Nim or Nimicry if you're feeling professional, and welcome to the YouTube video. Now today, we're going to be going over some job changes in Final Fantasy XIV for the release of patch 6.05. Now, before we get started, there's usually a plug here for social media stuff and support and all that. That's all down below. Patreon, Discord, subscribing, all that. It's all down below. We're just going to skip that for now and go right to the battle system because I'm trying to get in to go do some Savage raiding tonight. As you can see, I'm at 206 and have been for a little while. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. As we can see in the good old battle system, here we are. So, all adjustments are based on actions as they function at level 90. So, for the Pugilist Monk, we have the Armor of the Destroyer. When under effect of Perfect Balance, it now grants Raptor Chakra even when missing a target. Rockbreaker, while under the effect of Perfect Balance, now grants Opo Chakra even when missing a target. 4-point Fury, when under the effect of Perfect Balance, now grants Coral Chakra even when missing a target. Shadow of the Destroyer, when under the effect of Perfect Balance, now grants Raptor Chakra, even when missing a target. Elixir Field, now grants Lunar Naughty and Formless Fist, even when missing a target. Flint Strike now grants Solar Naughty and Formless Fist, even when missing a target. And Rising Phoenix now grants Solar Naughty and Formless Fist, even when missing a target. Now you'd be like, Nim, you're a monk, you're Pugilist, you're DPS. You should be punching, things, as opposed to whiff, 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 whiff. Or sometimes, if you're feeling spicy, kick, 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 kick. Because, hey, who doesn't feel spicy every now and again? The answer to that is, let's say you're farming fates. I recently leveled my Pugilist and my monk and Pugilistic because it says, oh, it gives Pugilist experience, but it's, the monk crystal. Anyways, I recently leveled my monk to 90. And as I did a lot through fates, I did a lot through other things, and there would be times where I felt like, oh, my perfect balance got clipped. And I hate that. I hate when my perfect balance gets clipped. It's terrible. So I would lose out on chakra, and then I have to wait. Now, granted, it's only like a 40-second cooldown, and it's fates. It's not a big deal, but what if that was something serious? What if, I don't know, I was raiding with it? Now, granted, I'm not super good at the monk, so I tend not to raid with it. But still, take the meaning. So these are all good changes. Now, instead of feeling like you're punished for using your rotations and your cooldowns when you need to, and the fight just happened to die, you can end up getting that last bit of chakra or that last naughty open, which is fantastic. All right, scrolling down, we have the Dragoon. Wormwind Thrust. The potency has been increased from 370 to 420. Garrus Skull. Look, I hope that's right. I hope that's right. Garrus Skull. Potency has been increased from 250 to 260. And Nastron potency has been increased from 350 to 360. Okay, seems fine. I thought Wormwind Thrust was a little undertuned when I did the Dragoon preview. But, hey, a little bit extra potency makes things viable. Now, when I say viable, what does that mean? I'm talking about perception viability. So, Dragoon, as it was probably viable, and a good player, along with a good group, could have gotten through all of the content. But there is a perception that if something doesn't do enough damage, or if something's too hard, or if something is too punishing for a certain level of players, then it's not worth playing, it's not worth bringing, you're just actually dragging things down. And to some extent, that's true, where perception does define reality, especially in a community-driven game, but oftentimes it's way more extreme than it actually is. So keep that in mind. There's actual viability and perceived viability, or community perceived viability, if I want to be overly obtuse. Down to the Ninja. Now, the Ninja was one of two classes I know that absolutely was looking to get some fixes. Ninja and Summoner being them there. So we have the Raiton. The status effect granted upon execution has been changed from Forked Raiju Ready to Raiju Ready. The status effect duration has been increased from 15 to 30 seconds. Perfect. Gives you more time, more windows. Because think about it. I have Confiteor, right, as a Paladin main. And Paladins are a little under-damaged right now, which, I have Confiteor, Requisite, all that stuff. So I'll get Requisite. It'll last for 30 seconds, and I get 5 stacks. After spending 4 stacks, I'm like, all right, it's time for Confiteor! And then I summon swords from the sky, and it's great, and I think those swords should do more damage. So that being increased from 15 to 30 seconds adds some cushion to the time, and you can just keep on moving forward. Hey, look, the Q moved. Bunshin. The Phantom Kamatachi Ready status effect no longer expires when the effect of Bunshin ends. This action now changes Phantom Kamatachi upon execution. The Phantom Kamatachi Ready status effect now has a duration of 45 seconds. Again, extra increase, extra ways to keep it up. That makes the Ninja more viable mechanically, because now there are less fail states. Some people say, oh, that's lowering the skill cap. Is it, though? Is it? No, it's not. It's fixing things. Phantom Kamatachi. Execution no longer consumes a stack of Bunshin. Increase to the Ninki gauge has been changed from 5 to 10. So prior to patch 6.05, both the execution of Phantom Kamatachi and the effect of Bunshin increased the Ninki gauge by 5. Increase the Ninki gauge by 5, resulting in a total increase of 10. The above adjustment ensures this increase to the Ninki gauge remains unchanged when executing Phantom Kamatachi. We have Forked Raiju. Potency has been increased from 400 to 500. Excuse me. The additional effect grants Fleeting Raiju Ready has been removed. The requirement for execution has been changed from while under the effect of Forked Raiju Ready to while under the effect of Raiju Ready. So you won't be able to use Forked Raiju unless you have, of course, Raiju Ready. Makes sense. And the fact that, seeing as how you have to set it up, they decided to give you a little bit more potency, and I believe I misspoke. It was 400 to 560. So forgive me there. And the Q moved again. Wonderful. Then, of course, we have Fleeting Raiju. Players will no longer rush target upon execution. Range has been reduced from 20 yalms to 3 yalms. Okay, interesting. Potency has been increased from 450 to 560. All right. The requirement for execution has been changed while under the effect of Fleeting Raiju Ready to while under the effect of Raiju Ready can now be set on the hotbar. So now you have a chance if you want to do Forked Raiju or Fleeting Raiju, depending on what happens. And after all, getting closer to, well, you no longer rush the target, so I guess it doesn't make sense. It's not a gap close. Ooh, I'm number 1. On to the Samurai. Now, I feel bad for the Samurai in patch 6.0 and 6.05 and Endwalker because previously in the game, the Samurai were like, don't ask me to do anything else, don't ask me to heal, don't ask me to support, I just do raw, crazy damage. So you don't call them when you need help, you call them when you need absolutely something needs to be destroyed overnight. They're like, 1-800, who wants it, I deliver. Oh, them? Cool, on it, bam, slash, and they're dead. That's what they used to do. It was great, it was fantastic. Now, Reaper's kind of stolen the spotlight. Reaper does more damage, potency-wise, and has support, so there's probably going to be some Reaper nerfs coming in patch 6.1. But for now, let's take a look at what happened to Samurai that's actually good. So, Higabana, Kaeshi Higabana, Midare Setsugeka, and Kaeshi Setsugeka all have had their range increased from 3 yalms to 6 yalms. So a yalm is like a yard. Think about it, because, let's see, 3 yalm is 3 fulms, and a fulm is 12 ilms. And we did a video on the channel on the origins of Gil and measurements, which you can check out on the channel. I think there's a link down below. Anyways, so the Samurai's doing okay. The Samurai's all right. Funny enough, though, if we scroll down just a little bit, we get to see our Reaper friends have some changes. Or at least one change at this point. Arcane Crest, the cure potency of the Crest of Time returned effect has been reduced from 100 to 50. So a minor cure nerf, but they are a DPS. So that's really not going to change. I don't think that's going to be game-breaking to anybody's play. Might be a little harder out in the open world, but it's fine. Now, we're down to, of course, our Dancer. Now, Dancer, we have the Standard Finish, our Technical Finish, and Tilana. So all action categories have been changed from ability to weapon skill. That'll help with, they're no longer going to be OGCD, or potentially OGCD. I don't play a Dancer, so forgive me if I got that wrong, but they have all been changed, and that, of course, is to bring Dancer in line with certain things. A lot of my friends say that Dancer needs just a slight potency increase, and probably. We now come to Summoner. Now, I have friends in my FC who play a Summoner, and they tell me, Nim, it absolutely needs a potency increase, and luckily, Fountain of Fire has been increased from 430 to 520, and Brand of Purgatory has been increased from 180 to 240, which, quite frankly, yes, good. That means Summoner's going to be a little bit more viable, and remember, we talk about perceived viability versus actual viability versus mechanical viability. All 3 things need to be taken into account. And luckily, Summoner is getting a little bit of a buff. I'm sure that certain people in my FC will enjoy that. And, of course, Scholar. Fey Union. The range has been increased from 15 yalms to 30 yalms. The range in which players must stay has been increased from 15 yalms to 30 yalms. Okay, so that's just meant to match that. No problem. And again, extra range means you have more room to move around certain boss rooms, and if you've done even the normal mode Pandemonium, there's a lot of movement in some of those fights. A lot of movement, especially that 4th one. I did get Nosferatu, so I feel really good about that. But now that we've gone through that, and I'm still at Q position 1, let's take a look and see some of the reaction to the patch notes on our good friend Twitter, which you can follow me on if you'd like to, at Nimicry. So here we are, after having a nice, well-reasoned, if not somewhat stumbly and energetic reaction after a long day at work, we now look at what does the general public think of the 6.05 patch notes. And of course, this may skew negative because of the fact that, more in general, people who have a negative opinion tend to leave comments more than people who have a positive opinion. So first we can see yours truly. Well, it seems we'll have to wait. Oh, look at that, the Q popped! Till 6.1 for some paladin buffs. Our damage is a little low. Still nice to see some potency buffs, SAM range increase, and nin changes. So yeah, again, what I basically said, only shorter, more brief, and hey, that wouldn't work for a YouTube video, but it does work for a tweet. Alright, so let's continue here. We have Words, good friend of the channel. Some people are not going to be happy with the lack of job changes, I think. I suspect big job changes are probably going to have to wait till 6.1. And then, of course, somebody says 0.05 patches never have massive changes, which is probably correct. That being said, I didn't keep up on the patch notes the entire time. Can new people play yet? Didn't have 8 years to play yet. We're not going to click on that, just because that sounds real gatekeepy. And here's the thing, right? People find games at different times. I love Final Fantasy XIV. Some of the people I know love Final Fantasy XIV. Some of the people who hang out with me and watch me and do stuff, they play Final Fantasy XIV now because I introduced them. So perfect, wonderful, fantastic. In fact, continue on, carry on, do everything that you can. Now, let's see. Really disappointed not addressing the audio issues. Tried everything suggested, but nothing works. Tried using the immersive spatial audio. The trial's ending soon. I don't really feel like paying for fixing the game that I already pay monthly to pay. I mean, that's a reasonable thing. The audio issues, of course, are a big deal for those who are experiencing them. I tend to not notice it, but then again, I'm almost mostly deaf due to machine gun fire and a few other things from when I was in the Marine Corps. So this person is only impacting PCs. I play on PS5. Never encountered anything. Still no news about the homeworld transfer. Ooh, that's right. Data center travel. Why is no one talking about summer? It got boring. Used to love it, but now it's sad. No, it's again an opinion. But so far, this hasn't been overly negative. I was expecting people to be like, torch, 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 flame everything, destroy the world. And it didn't. So I'm okay with that. Yeah, there it is. Boring is very subjective. Babysitting dots wouldn't be my definition of fun. And I wouldn't exactly say it was any more challenging than now. Currently, I agree that summer feels empty outside the rotation, but the identity is best as an actual summoner. You know what? I'm agree with that. The fact that you can summon Titan, Ifrit, and Garuda, is one of those things, as well as Bahamut and Phoenix. I mean, those are iconic summons. I wish you could throw in Ramu, but, hey, whatever, right? The Golden Luninator. Oh, yes, the Golden Luninator. There is a Golden Lunar Tender, and absolutely, that is the correct response to have to the Golden Lunar Tender. Now, let's keep going a little bit. I gotta find out where he is. These Dragoon buffs, those aren't bad, but can you at least increase the timer of the dot from Chaotic Spring from 25 seconds to at least 1 minute dot? 25 seconds from Chaotic Spring's dot is just too short for 1/2 of the Dragoon rotation. Let's see, 30 seconds I can see, but 60 seems... So somebody says, change it off from 60 seconds would completely change the rotation into something jank and ruin the smooth rotation it has now. 30 I can see, maybe just to give leeway, but 60 seconds probably never happened. Now, keep in mind, at base speed, skill speed, 2.5 seconds going from 25 to 30 seconds, that's 2 GCDs. So I could see 30. I could see 30 being a thing. Adjust Dark Knight Blood Weapon, change to 5 stack, TBN 3 mana, 35% reduction, win break. Okay, I mean that's interesting. And honestly, a lot of these challenges, a lot of these comments and things, and challenges to what they have to say and what they posted, I like. The sound issue wasn't fixed or even acknowledged, and there's a video there if you want to watch that. Then we have no Trash Knight buff, set his favorite tank done dirty, probably won't get either. You put someone in charge of designing a job who pride towards his form over function. Someone mentioned there that the Dark's Burst is stupidly good, and as a tank being able to use Blackest Night and still having good damage output, I don't see why you complain. Job works legit as intended. I'm going to click on that one. All our tanks got huge self-sustain abilities and buffs, and Dark got absolutely none. Not to mention that Living Dead is the worst invuln by a mile. If your healer stinks, there ain't enough Soul Eaters in the world that could save you, or War doesn't even need a healer in daily content. Now, I will say that Warrior is currently in an extremely... In current content, is extremely strong. Warrior is very, very powerful, especially if played well and optimized correctly. Now, let's continue here. So, we got Bard Copian at it, some Bard Jank to be fixed. Will the game be available again? I need to buy it on PC. My PlayStation is accessible for a long time. I really miss playing Endwalker. Oh, it's a damn shame. I'm sorry. Like, that right there makes me sad. Because I love Endwalker. I've had a lot of fun with it so far. And the fact that there are people who can't play it does make me sad. In fact, as you saw, I was in queue and logging in and doing all that stuff. But anyways, let's so what we'll do here now is I think we'll just wrap that up for now. And let's turn off the display capture. Boop, there it is. Okay, so here's what happened, guys. You got to see some cool stuff. We got to find out some patch notes. I laid out my case. Tell me what you think. I think I made a pretty good case as to why the patch notes were good, or at least the changes were. Was everything in there that I wanted? Of course not. There were a lot of things in there that I would like to see. Paladin changes. I'd like to see some rebalancing. I'd like to see a few other things going on, but that's going to happen a little later. So tell me what you think in the comments below, and of course I read and respond to every comment that I can. If you like what I do, or you like this channel in specific, go on and click subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with everything the channel does. In addition, I've been told that I should push this more often. I stream on Twitch every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if that's something you're into, feel free to check me out. On Friday and Sunday, we do Final Fantasy XIV, and Saturday is a wildcard stream. So look forward to that. We open the Discord, we chat, we have a fun time. If you'd like to talk to me on social media, you can at Twitter, that's at Nimicry. If you want a longer conversation, you can check my Discord down below. And for those who want to go truly and above and beyond, be those true warriors of light, there is my Patreon. And that's patreon.com/Nimicry. Your support there helps me make longer videos and helps me make more videos. So I appreciate it. Anybody who decides to support, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. This was a fun video to make. I got to have a little bit of caffeine, and it kicked in right as I got started, so hopefully you can tell. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one, and may the mount you're farming drop on the first kill.